Recently, I went to Universal's Epic Universe, and I want to share my full first experience. We started the day taking the shuttle bus from Terra Luna Resort to the park entrance. Right away, I noticed how nice all the landscaping was and how easy it was to walk from the bus drop-off to the park entrance. The vibe was so positive, and everyone seemed excited for the day ahead. Security was fast and efficient, and the new facial recognition ticket system really sped up the park entry process. The first thing we saw was the spectacular Kronos entrance portal. It was so amazing to see in person after years of watching it all being built. When I walked through the Kronos, I was met with a stunning view of Celestial Park, which is the central hub to Epic Universe, and the Helios Grand Hotel in the back. Walking towards Super Nintendo World, I was able to see all the immaculate details put into Celestial Park. The first area I went into was Super Nintendo World. The entrance portal was so pretty to look at with so many Easter eggs. Inside the portal was really cool with a huge screen and green stardust floating around. And then I entered into the warp pipe to go up an escalator into Peach's castle. Stepping foot into the land felt like walking right into the game. It was absolute sensory overload with so many moving objects. Everything around you completely immersed you into the world of Nintendo. I decided to head over to Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge because checking wait times in previous days, it seemed like it would get the longest wait time in the park. The first thing in the queue is the massive Bowser statue that is way bigger in real life than it looks on video. All of the theming felt very real to make it feel like we were actually in Bowser's castle. Most people who have played the Mario games see so many hidden details that make the line so exciting to walk through. There was plenty to see throughout the queue line, like all the Mario Kart trophies, a big library, and even books that have titles that relate to the game. I can't imagine how much effort was put in to create all of this for just one ride. This really showed how far Universal has taken their immersive theming. All of the designers and people involved with constructing this park really deserve a pat on the back. Deeper into the queue, I started to see more screens with little characters to help entertain people. Bowser's giant throne helps give a sense of scale to the whole castle. Even with big lines when the park opens, this will really be a fun experience to walk through. Plenty of practical effects make it feel more lively inside with a big furnace and glowing rocks that look like hot coals. All the guests got Mario hats to strap onto your head, which indicated that we were getting on the ride soon. The hat was kind of heavy and uncomfortable. There was a knob on the back to adjust size and fit. We were filed into a room with racing outfits of all the characters from the game. We watched a short pre-show about how the ride worked. It showed how to steer, aim, and shoot from the ride vehicle. I honestly think it was too overwhelming and most people weren't even paying attention because there was so much to look at in the room. We all exited the pre-show room and went through a few switchbacks, then downstairs into the loading area. The stairway area had tons of boxes, wheels, and chains to look at. There's also one more instructional video showing how to add the augmented reality glasses to the hat. Team members at the bottom tell guests which row to get in, and then you wait for your ride vehicle to show up so you can get on. The ride vehicles look just like Mario Karts and sit 2 people in the front and 2 people in the back, so only 4 people fit in a vehicle at a time. Universal didn't allow any filming on the ride, so I have none to show for now. During the ride is a mix of impressive practical effects, screens, and overlaid visuals seen on the augmented reality glasses. The ride is pretty cool, but there's so much to look at, it might take a few rides to really see it all. We all exited out into the gift shop and back into Super Nintendo World. I took a few minutes to look around and take it all in again. It looked like there was plenty of places to eat, shop, and play all the mini games. There's also a slow-moving Yoshi ride and a Donkey Kong roller coaster in the land that I come back to and see later in the day. I also want to add that you can purchase a wristband that allows you to play the interactive games throughout the land. After Super Nintendo World, we made our way into Celestial Park and Stardust Racers. This ride looks absolutely stunning. This was by far my most anticipated roller coaster of Epic Universe. It totally lived up to the hype. I will definitely do a full review of the ride soon, but I do want to add that the line flows very nicely with the metal detectors, lockers, and loading process. Next, I went over to the brand new Wizarding World area. The portal first brings you back in time to 1920s Paris, then, after walking under a big archway, into Wizarding Paris. The wide open streets feel just like Paris. There's so many highly themed shops and interactive wand spots throughout this area. It almost feels like Diagon Alley at Universal Studios, but on a much bigger scale. You could really spend time just looking around and finding all the little details scattered about. One of my favorite details was the load of oozing mushrooms on the wall. The virtual queue for the battle at the Ministry was literally impossible for me to get throughout the whole day, so we just looked around a bit more. Of course, there was a wand shop, which was very pretty inside, and in one corner of the land, there was a forced perspective basilica in the background. I didn't get to experience the live show, but I've heard really good things about it. Luckily, since the ride was closed, we were able to walk through the queue. We were transported through the Floo network with smoke and lighting effects out into the Ministry of Magic. This was one of the craziest reveals ever. It looked just like the movies, if not better. The whole room was on such a grand scale. There were massive gold statues, offices, and screens to give the area more depth. Definitely watch all of the Harry Potter movies to really understand all of this. I believe as of making this video, they've actually dropped the virtual line system entirely, so be prepared for insane wait times. The rest of the queue is mostly walking through highly detailed offices. After that, leaving the land, I noticed a bunch of creatures sculpted onto the back of the archway, so be sure to check that out. Heading over to Dark Universe, I passed the Helios Grand Hotel, which was indeed grand. It features over 500 rooms for guests that have direct access to the park. The big statue and cascading waterfalls gave it a good sense of luxury. There is also an Asian-themed restaurant called the Blue Dragon. Although it wasn't open yet, you can still look at the giant blue dragon statue at the entrance. The main fountain show was testing throughout the day. The music was totally synchronized with the water. It was epic. The benches around Celestial Park were also very detailed. The Dark Universe entrance portal was by far my favorite of all. The purple lighting and atmospheric music really set the tone for the land ahead. You are transported into a graveyard with tombstones, some sort of crypt entrance, and even a dead body hanging upside down from a lamppost. The graveyard even has fog effects to make this even creepier. The village of Darkmoor was super cool to look around with plenty of gift shops and places to eat. The giant Frankenstein castle in the back was definitely my favorite castle in any Universal park. There was also a well or a cauldron that had even more fog pouring out of it. We went to check out Curse of the Werewolf, the new family spinning coaster. I thought it was actually surprisingly good even though other people had been dumping on it. It was unique with a swing launch and werewolf animatronics in the shed. The ride entrance had a really neat sign with a big werewolf sculpture on it. The whole queue area was filled with tents and caravans, which provided plenty of shade. The station building has a screen with a full moon shining down on the ride vehicle. The seats feel very open and comfortable. Next up, we decided to hit Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. The queue immediately immersed guests into the experience, with so many fully decorated rooms. In one of the rooms, there's a life-sized Frankenstein's monster figure in a glass case. Throughout the whole line, wires of electricity flash above you. There's even a little vampire bat being held captive. Then we go upstairs to the second level and into the first of two pre-show rooms. A screen presents Igor, Frankenstein's assistant, and explains how the ride system works in the creepiest, funniest, and most unhinged way possible. Bookcases move out of the way so guests can enter the second pre-show room. An insanely impressive Victoria Frankenstein animatronic starts to explain her motives. She says how she wants to control all of the monsters of Darkmoor and unveils her newest creation. A massive Frankenstein's monster animatronic steps out into the light so the doctor can explain how she needs to take control of Dracula. She opens up another set of doors into the locker room, followed by some switchbacks into the station. The station is a circular moving platform to ensure guests enter quickly. The ride itself is an absolute masterpiece. The ride blends the best practical effects with the most high-definition screens to give a one-of-a-kind experience. The animatronics on this ride were the most fluid and lifelike I've ever seen. Do not miss this ride. We came out of Dark Universe to travel to the last land of the park. Heading over, we decided to take a look at Constellation Carousel. This was the highly themed carousel in Epic Universe. The ride building was made up of stained glass and gold accents to give a celestial feel. Each ride car is a constellation that can move up to 6 feet in the air. The individual vehicles are synchronized with the music. Now off to the final land, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. The portal was really awesome to walk through. There's also a silhouette of Toothless spinning around an orange sphere. You could start to see a slab of rock ahead with a few words of the first How to Train Your Dragon movie. Walking past it, the two large statues of the Viking and dragon tower above. A huge blue lake is at the center of the area along with the massive rock spire at the back. The main ride of the area also comes into view. Hiccup's Wing Gliders is the family multi-launch coaster in Isle of Berk that weaves itself all around the land. It flies above and below pathways, which gives a really cool interaction with guests. The queue line is very large to accommodate for high wait times, but still lacks a whole lot of shade. The ride is awesome, glass smooth, enjoyable for all members of the family, but might be a wee bit too short. The rest of the area is packed with details from the movies, and animatronic dragons are spread all throughout the land. Some characters are even interacting with guests, just adding to the high level of immersion in the Isle of Berk. I didn't get a chance to ride Fire Drill, the small water ride, but it seems perfect for a hot place like this. After that, we headed back to Super Nintendo World to check out the Donkey Kong Country Miniland. This area housed Minecart Madness, a family boom coaster that jumps the track just like the game. It had a super long wait time, so I didn't get to experience it that day. The Miniland felt very on par with the Donkey Kong games. The park was gonna close soon, so I decided to try to make it over to Dark Universe to check it out at night. We took a step into one of the shops in Dark Universe, which had little monsters all around. I got my third and final ride on Monsters Unchained and noticed how Dark Universe really comes alive at night. Overall, I believe that this is the best theme park in Florida, if not all of America, and I can't wait to go back in just a few weeks for part 2.